Again, Alav Shalom. So Rabbi Akiva, he left home and he went to study Torah by Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Shua. Rachel went to clean houses for a living and she sent half her salary to her husband. So she lived in poverty, plus she didn't see her husband 12 years. Meanwhile, Rabbi Akiva got 12,000 students. After 12 years, he made a journey home to fulfill his promise to come home after 12 years. And he had 12,000 students. But what? He approaches the house and he hears through the window that the neighbor's wife is talking to Rabbi Akiva's wife. And what did she say? She said, "Oh, Rachel, what happened? What a husband you have. You're a widow while he's alive. 12 years, you don't see him." Rachel says, "Don't worry, it doesn't bother me. I'm so happy he's learning Torah. If he would come home now and ask me for another 12 years, I'll tell him to stay another 12 years in yeshiva." What did Rabbi Akiva do? Rabbi Akiva heard this. He said, "Oh, I have permission." He didn't even go inside. Yisrael turned around with the 12,000 students and went back to yeshiva. So the question is, why in the world would he not go in, say hi? You're already there. 2 steps, you go into your house. "Hi, how are you? Let's drink chai," and then go back to yeshiva. What's the big deal? So we have to understand that 12 and 12 is not the same as 24 straight. Person has to know during his learning, if you want to have very big success in learning, don't let it get interrupted. Getting interrupted, you think, okay, what's the problem? I'll just hop back into it. I'll just pick it up where I left off. It's not like that. That's maybe when you're studying secular stuff. That makes sense. But the Torah is a spiritual thing. There's a certain way. There's 48 qualities to acquire the Torah. And one of them is that you have to know that uninterrupted learning in Torah, you're going to acquire the spirituality, you're going to understand it better. So therefore, he says that this that I go and I learn 12 plus another 12 is never going to be the same as 24 years interrupted. So therefore, when you sit to learn, put your phone away, put your other stuff away. People call you, have an automated message, "I'm learning right now, I'm busy." The world, the Gemara says, we learn from the Pasuk, Parshat Chokat, Ki Adam Yamut Ba'oel. Right? The Torah says, "Oh, Chokat Torah." This is the law of the Torah. When a man dies in a tent, the Gemara is Doresh. Don't read it when a man dies in a tent. Rather, this is the law of the Torah. You want to study Torah? You have to be like a man who died in a tent. You have to be the whole world, you're dead. No, I'm sorry, I can't answer the phone, I'm busy. Why? You understand that I'm in the bathroom and I don't answer the phone. That you understand, right? Okay, good. So when I'm eating, you understand not to bother me. I'm in the middle of my lunch break. I'm eating, right? Okay, so don't bother me. So why don't you understand while I'm learning that it's the most important thing that I can't answer the phone? Understand it. No, I'm available from this hour to this hour. Don't bother me these hours. That's it. So therefore, person has to learn to do this, because if you start answering the phone, start answering the text, those guys, Rabbi, yes, this, I'm listening to you. Oh, what are you saying? Yeah. Oh, what did you say? Oh, you basically, some Yosef Zadik, some Gematria, whatever, the Tshuva. I heard what you said, Rabbi. Karochi, just say it again, Karochi. You're not here, you're not fully there when you're, so therefore a person should be fully focused and put away all that stuff when he's learning. After 24 years, so now you're back another 12 years, right? So he went 24 years total to yeshiva, and now he came back with 24,000 students. Rabbi Akiva is like a machine. Every year, another 1,000 students. So what happens? So then they made a big event for Rabbi Akiva. They came to go and meet the meet and greet in the big event in Bnei Brak. So at last, the time came for Rachel to get the fruit of her self-sacrifice. She was finally going to see her husband for 24 years of self-sacrifice. Rachel didn't have any nice clothing, so she went to borrow. Her friend said, "Go borrow something nice." So Rachel said, "No, my husband's not going to like it. He doesn't care about Gashmiut." So Rachel approached Rabbi Akiva. She fell on her face. She kissed his feet. And the rabbis of the students, they said, "Who's this random lady coming kissing the rabbi's feet? Hey, shoo, get out of here." And they didn't realize, they didn't think for one moment this was the Rebbetzin. And they didn't realize. So they went to push her away. Rabbi Akiva stopped them. He said, "Oh, Sushariya, is this woman, you know who she is? She says, whatever you guys have, and whatever I have, is all hers. Everything that we have is because of her. So therefore, you have to give her the most kavod, not me, not yourself. Her. Because of her, that's why we're all here. So therefore, a person has to realize that that's the zechut of every woman. Every woman who lets her husband say, "Oh, you just came home from work, you have to right away go to mincha." It's okay, go to mincha. Right away, I just saw you, we just had dinner for half an hour, that's it, now you have to go to shiur? It's okay, go. You wake up so early, you leave in the morning, I don't see you all morning, you go to nets, you go to learn, you go to this. It's okay, go. You know what? Go. You know why? Because when you go, really it's my learning also. When you go, it's like I also prayed nets also. When you go, it's also, I get the reward also. That's why the reason I get all up in the Chiyat HaMetim. That's why I get all in Abba. So therefore, Rabbi Akiva said, really, it's all our wives' zuchut. So what happened? They heard Rabbi Akiva came to town. They put posters everywhere. Tzaddik Balayir, Rabbi Akiva was coming to town. So, Kalba Savua, the Amak, father-in-law, I heard a big rabbi's coming. Yanuka's coming to town. Very good, I want to go meet with him. Why not? So he goes and he has a meeting. Listen, they told Rabbi Akiva, listen, this is a big balabait, you gotta meet with him, he's a VIP, he wants to speak to you a few minutes. Okay, no problem. So he goes and he goes to meet with him, and he says to him, how are you? How can I help you? He's a rabbi, I have a big problem. He says, what's the problem? He's my daughter. What's wrong with your daughter? My daughter, she fell. She made a big mistake. What's the big mistake? She took this guy, some ignorant shepherd. She married him. It's not right. It's not befitting our family. Pazor. I don't know what to do with her. Now what? She's like a bedna in the street, poor lady, and I can't even help her. I made a vow never to give her one dime. So what do we do? I feel bad. I want to annul my vow. So he said to him, listen, if you would know that I am your son-in-law, Rabbi Akiva. He turned white. Unbelievable. What? You're my son? How? Of course I want to give to you. I want to give you a big check. He said, but I have a vow. He said, listen, if I would learn one chapter, would you make this vow? No. If you would know how to say one bracha, you would have made this vow? No, of course not. I thought you were an ignorant person. He says, I am Rabbi Akiva, your son-in-law, and I had this potential from the beginning. You didn't know that I was able to become a great sage. The vow is canceled. How could it annul the vow? So the commentary says, Toso ask, when you annul a vow, you can't annul a vow with nolad. Nolad means in the future, that something came up in the future. It has to be that something was existing at the time you made the vow, and you didn't know about it, and that's what cancels the vow. You can't cancel the vow with something that came up later. Rabbi Akiva, in that moment, when he made the vow, Rabbi Akiva didn't know anything. So how could he say, if I would have learned halacha, if I don't know how to make one bracha, you wouldn't know the vow. That only came later. Says Tosafot, in that moment when he made the vow, Rabbi Akiva did do something. What did he do? He gave a promise to his wife that he's going to go to yeshiva. And if you give a promise to go to yeshiva, says Tosafot what? Says Tosafot, it's normal for a person who goes to yeshiva to become a gadol, to become a great person in Torah. Since he already made the commitment to go to yeshiva, says Tosafot, that's considered enough of a reason to annul the vow. So you see the power. Tosafot says it's normal. When you go to learn, you go to yeshiva every day, you learn with your rabbi, it's normal for you to become a great person in Torah and to change completely who you are. So therefore, a person has to know the dedication a person makes to go to shiur and to have a rabbi. Says Tosafot, this is a way to path to become Rabbi Akiva. Baruch Adonai Olam.